What's up, you guys, and welcome back to So by GG 101. So today I have a review for you, as you can tell by the title and the intro, and your girl is stressed. First of all, let me apologize because we're filming on my vlog camera because I did not charge my regular camera. Well, that's not true. I didn't charge it, and I tried to film on it, and halfway through the review, it wasn't working, so that had me stressed too. So we're on the vlog camera. Let's try this again. Take two. Okay. So the movie I'm going to be reviewing for you guys today is called A Silent Place. You guys, this movie had me stressed. Oh my god. It had me stressed. Okay. So I don't know the people in the movie, like real names. I just know that the mother in the movie was freaking Emily from The Devil Wears Prada, where she was all like, but she eats bloody cobs. Like, The Devil Wears Prada, though. That's my movie. So basically this whole entire movie is about this family that, and this takes place in New York. Just let me just clarify that this had to have been upstate New York, because there's no way this is happening in the city. Like, don't nobody in New York City have time for this. So if it did happen in New York, it either had to be upstate or it had to be Long Island, because none of the 5 boroughs would have stood for this crap. Just saying. Okay, so it takes place in New York. And apparently something happened where, like, these weird things that, so basically there are these things, right? And this is what they look like. Think of frickin' Predator from Alien vs. Predator, his head on like a big gigantic manta ray body. That's what that thing is, okay? And like, they literally can hear everything. They have like this supersonic bionic hearing capabilities, and they can like hear everything. Like, they can hear, like, if you go, like, they can hear it. Like, literally, if I go like this, they can hear that from like Africa. So this family, I like, okay, so Courtney and I think we missed like the first 3 minutes, honestly, of the movie. And I don't know if in the first 3 minutes they kind of explained what happened or how this family became the only family in New York to deal with this. But like, it started off with they're walking across the bridge, and if you've seen the trailer for the movie, then you've seen this clip. And this is what like blows my freaking mind, right? And my battery is flashing, so we're gonna have to stop this again. A sister can't win. Okay, and we're back. New battery. Okay, no blinking. We're good. Okay, so they're walking on this bridge, right? And they're walking, and everybody's just walking in silence. Everybody's barefoot. And then all of a sudden you see this little boy, and he pulls out this airplane, this toy airplane, and he presses it, and it makes all this noise. And then like everyone just stops in their tracks because they hear the noise, right? And they're just like, they're shook. They're stopped in their tracks, literally, and they're shook. And I was shook because I knew what was about to happen. And all of a sudden the dad drops everything and like starts sprinting like this. And he starts sprinting down the track to get to this boy. And then you hear rustling of the trees, and it's this manta ray predator thing like running too. And just as the father gets to the boy and like grabs his, like this, to like grab his hand. Ooh, look at that 3D. Ooh, Spidey. Like, okay, anyway, sorry. Ooh, got lost. When he grabs his hand out like this to grab the boy, the thing grabs him. And the mother is just sitting there like this. I mean, you might as well scream and cry, because obviously that airplane already, like, that noise got the mega bug thingy, okay, attention. So you might as well have just screamed and cried. And then, like, she just falls to the ground. She starts crying. The older sister and the older brother are just mortified. The father is he's just too through. But let me just stop right there, because I have some issues with that scene. Number one, if you know that noise like is a problem, why would you have batteries in that toy? Why? And then something happens later on in the movie that's gonna go back into this, and we'll talk about that then. Just remind me, okay? But why? That's my first problem. Actually, that's not even my first problem. That's my second problem. My first problem is, why was that little boy all the way in the back of you? Why was he so far in the back that you had to sprint so far to get to him as he was the youngest child? I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I kind of feel like when it comes to children, especially if there's two adults, it should be one adult in the front that's leading everything and one adult in the back. And if it can't be that way and it's just one adult, then the child should always be in the front. So that blew my mind. Like, I did not understand why he was all the way in the back, right? Okay, so then it flash forwards to like a year later or something like that. I feel like it kind of had days or something like that. And the mother is pregnant. Why? Why? Okay. Again, I'm not understanding. You are living in a civilization where it is just you and your two kids, okay, and your husband, right? So it's just the four of you guys in this civilization, and you can't make any noise. What would possess you to have sexual relations? Like, I mean, I get it. It's the human hormonal anatomy or whatever it is. Guys, I don't know. I'm not a scientist or a sex therapist. I just know that, like, I get it. There's hormones and you need it, but I don't understand how they managed to have hormones, because throughout the whole entire movie they were constantly on edge about making too much noise. So at what point were you no longer on edge that you felt like you could have the sexual relations? And then you have the nerve to get pregnant because homegirl was pregnant. And I'm like, I don't even understand. How are you pregnant, okay, when you can't make any noise? Like, I didn't understand that part. I tried to put two and two together, and 2 and 2 did not make 4 to me. 2 and 2 made question mark. Like, I did not understand, right? Okay, no problem. So then, like, there's this one part, so that's the only time you really see these alien things at that point. So then the mom is cooking and she's pregnant or whatever, and the dad is doing whatever he was doing. I think he was doing like the dishes or something, and they're being like uber quiet, and the kids are playing Monopoly, and they're playing with like these really soft meshy kind of things, and they're rolling the die on the carpet. And I think it was the sister got excited because the brother landed on her property, and clearly she had like hotels, and she got excited and kind of like flung her hand out like this to get money, again with the 3D action. I like it. Side note. And she knocked over the lamp and it made a sound. They all get petrified, and the whole entire movie consists of this one action. Okay, that's what the whole entire movie consists of. So now I'm stressed because I'm like, bro, oh my god, like everyone's gonna die in the beginning of the movie. Mind you, let me just preface this. I don't think I said it before. No one has talked in this movie yet. Not one person has spoken in this movie at all. It's just sign language. So they hear like this noise coming from like the attic-y area or like the second floor, and the dad looks out the window to see if it's like these mega alien manta ray thingies, and it's actually raccoons. Freaking raccoons. Always a freaking raccoon or a possum. It's always one of y'all two making noises in the freaking attic. So they jump down, scared the bejesus out of everybody in the audience. Okay, and they're like, it was weird because it was 2 of them, and they're like just walking down the hill, and they're making little raccoony noise, and it was almost as if these raccoons was like, yeah, we got them. You saw how scared they got, like, ha, we got them. And then like the Alien versus Predator thing snatches them real quick, and it's like, oh, okay. So we flash forward, and the dad has like this thing in the attic, oh, not the attic, the basement, where it's like kind of like his setup, and it's like this whole big CSI gotta find everything investigation, who done did it kind of a board thing, right? So it's like all the news clippings of like the attacks, I guess from the beginning when it first started happening, because there's nobody else in this movie but them, so I don't know who could have written these news articles. So I'm just assuming that these were like when the attacks first began and there were still people there. And you see him working on the anatomy of the ear, and he's working on something, and it's because the oldest daughter is actually deaf, we come to find out. And we also come to find out through that interaction that her and the father have this very tumultuous relationship, which is very interesting because nobody's talking in the movie. At some point you do start to see them do sign language, but there's no real verbal communication. And later on we kind of find out why the relationship was so tumultuous. But before we get to that, Emily comes down. We're gonna call her Emily because I don't remember her name. Emily comes down and she has an iPod and they start dancing with music. They have become immensely self-sufficient because she has a calendar. She checks her blood test and everything, and she's checking her due date. And at this point of the movie, there's like 3 weeks to her due date. But anyone who knows anything about babies knows that a due date is just preliminary. That's why it's called a preliminary due date. It does not mean that's when your child is gonna come. Your child's gonna come when they feel like coming. Just like that freaking Alien versus Predator thing. It comes when it feels like it. Okay? So, all this is happening, and the girl wants nothing more in life but to help. The father won't let her downstairs. Everything in the house has kind of like these footprints where they can walk and where they cannot, so that way there's no creaking and no noise is being made. They have like this like lantern and everything outside. The girl is just like in an attitude. The dad's trying to fix her hearing aid and she tells him in sign language, just stop. Like, it's never gonna work. You're always trying and it never works. Da 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 da. Woo 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 woo. She storms off. The father is trying to teach the son how to be self-sufficient to help the mother because the mother is pregnant, and he's gonna need someone to help him go hunt and get food and stuff like that. So the son is like, nah, chill, I'm not going. Like, do you know it's out there? No, I'm not doing it. Like, no. And the daughter is all kind of being like Mulan, like, let me go, I want to go, I will protect the family, but like in sign language. That was not to offend anyone. I don't know sign language, just saying. So the father is like, no, you need to stay. And the little girl gets mad and she storms off, and the mother's like, and so the father takes the little boy to the creek, and he's freaking out because he feels like it's too much noise and they're gonna hear them or whatever. And the father is like, you're fine. And he signs to him, you're okay, I got you, don't worry. And then he said, I want to show you someplace. So he explains to him that basically those predators can't hear them because of the sound of the water. It overpowers them. So then he takes them to a waterfall, right? And this part had me stressed. It didn't just have me stressed. It had the son stressed too, okay? Because he takes the son to a waterfall and homeboy just starts to scream. Like, he goes to the waterfall and he goes, help! And the little boy is freaking out. He's like, oh my god. And he's like, oh, like he's bugging out, and the father actually speaks. He's like, listen, they can't hear us. The waterfall is too loud. They can't hear us. So now you know what my question is, right? Like, if you watch me, if you follow me, then you know I have a question. You know I have a question. But we're going to talk about that question in the end. But just think about it. The wife is pregnant. They can't make any noise. The one place that they can't hear him is at a waterfall, but your house is nowhere near the waterfall. Stressed. So the son asks the father about, you know, if he was mad at the daughter because of what happened, because apparently she had something to do with it. So I'm assuming that she gave the little boy the toy or whatever, and it comes out that like the son tells the dad like, yo, she blames herself, so like you don't need to be so hard on her or whatever. And the dad is like, I'm not. And then the son is like, do you even love her? Which, as a parent, yes, that sounds ridiculous, but as a child that's experiencing all this, it's a completely valid question. So the father's like, of course I love her. And he's like, well, you know, it might not kill you to say it. And that was kind of like the end of speaking at that point. So if you're watching this movie and expecting to hear words, you're not. But it's okay. So they walk off, they're done with their hunting excursions, and they come across this dead body. They come across this house that says do not enter, and then there's this dead body, and then there's a man, and the father can see how like stressed this man is, because we're just assuming that this is his wife based on how upset he was. And he sees it building up in him, right? Like the anger, the wanting to scream, the crying, all that stuff. And like, again, the whole point of the movie is all like, and what does the man do? The man screams, and this man grabs his son and books it, and the thing comes out and he kills the man, and the son is shooketh. He is shooketh to the core. He is shooketh to his soul. He is stressed. I'm stressed. Courtney was stressed. Everybody in the audience was freaking stressed. Like, I swear, if this was one of those movies where they actually filmed people's reactions, I was stressed. So the father is like, okay, it's time to go. We're going back home. Meanwhile, back on the ranch, and literally back on the ranch because they lived on a ranch, okay? The daughter had packed up all of her stuff and she had like gone off, and I'm thinking she's running away, and I'm like, bruh, where are you running away to though? Like, you are at a disadvantage. If you make a noise, you're not going to hear that you made a noise, and you're not going to know that the thing is near you. So where are you going? Like, I'm confused. So she's doing that. The mother is doing laundry or whatever, and she starts to, her water breaks. So she starts to go into labor. You guys. She walks down the steps to the attic, and before she had a bag, and the bag had gotten stuck on something and she pulled it up. It happened to be a nail, so we knew we were going to revisit that, and this was the moment we revisited it, because she comes downstairs and she steps on the nail, and naturally she can't scream, but she does let out a oomph, and she drops, like, I guess it was like a picture frame or something, and it makes noise. You guys, I was stressed. I was literally in my chair stressed. Like, I had slouched all the way down in my seat because my heart could not take it. So she clicks the button, like this red button that turns all the lights in their yard red, I guess to signify to the husband that she was in labor. And while that's happening, all the animals have come, you know, the alien versus predator dude, because there's only apparently 3 of them. So one of them or 2 of them come, and she's hiding, and she's trying to do whatever, and she's trying not to make any noise because she's still in labor. And she manages to make her way upstairs to the bathroom, avoid these animals or whatever, and you see her in the tub. Again, this is in the trailer, and she is like, she's stressed. Like, there was just blood flowing. It was like the scene from The Shining happening between her legs. Like, it was just flowing out of her like the freaking Red Sea. Like, I mean, there was no parting that ish. It was flowing, and she's trying not to scream. Back on, like, the field or whatever, the father is telling them, the father tells the son, you have to go get the rockets and set the rocket off. He doesn't want to go by himself, but the father needs to go check on the mother. So he goes, just go, you can do it, you'll be fine. So he goes to sets off the rocket. We see that the sister had gone to the, like, memorial site of where the brother had been, captured, and she had cut the sound wire on the plane. Let's go back to the beginning. Why didn't they do that from the beginning? Why did they have this little boy playing with a toy? You could have taken the batteries out, and now that we know you could have cut the little wire, you could have cut the wire. Like, it made no sense. Like, yo, that just had me stressed. It had me angry. I was so mad. But you know what? All right, cool. He sets off the fireworks. The mother's in the tub screaming. The deaf daughter, I guess she sees the fireworks because we know she couldn't hear them. She takes off towards the house. He hears things. He starts running. He runs off the path because they had a path to everything. He runs off the path into the crop field or the cornfield, and he's making the swish, 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 swish sounds through the cornfield, and he runs into a tractor trailer and knocks out. The sister's running down the path. She happens to see the light that he was holding shining, so she walks through to see what's going on. The father's in the house trying to get the mother. The noise from the fireworks had made the thing leave. The father had built this underground cabin where it was soundproof, and he carries the mother down there with the baby because he goes in and he just sees a bloody tub, and he's thinking, my God, I lost my son, I lost my wife, I lost my unborn child. All of a sudden, you just hear BLAP! And a bloody hand just sticks to the shower. Homegirl picked up the baby and went in the shower. I was stressed, you guys. I was so stressed. So much was happening. Just so freaking stressed. I could not live. I could not breathe. This movie had me stressed. Oh my God, I'm gonna say that. Let's keep track. How many times do I say stressed in this review? It's cool because that's how I was feeling in this movie. So he picks the mother up with the baby, and he takes her down to this like soundproof thing that he had built in, like cabin that he had built, and like the whole entire time this little alien versus predator thing is following them, which really had me confused because why were they not where the firecrackers were, because they didn't make any noise after that. But whatever. So they're in there like this bomb shelter. That's what it's called. It's like a bomb shelter, and he puts this oxygen mask over the baby and puts him in like this freaking Noah little cubby thing. It reminded me of the scripture of the Bible where, you know, they put him in the thing and Jesus in the little wicker basket because he was killing all the boys and sent him off. Like, they put him in that. And then the mother has a mental breakdown about why, you know, she didn't carry him because she was carrying all this stuff and she couldn't carry him. And she was blaming herself. And the father's like, we can't do this. And she's like, well, who are we if we can't protect them? And you have to promise me you're going to protect them. And he's like, I promise you. Mind you, the kids are still like out in Lost, because this is all happening at night. Of course it's happening at night. And finally they realize that the two of them aren't with them, and the father's like, don't worry, they know what to do, I'm sure that they're safe. The mother's like, you need to go get my children. We ain't losing no more children up in this movie. So he goes off and get them. They run up to like this big long tower that had a whole bunch of kernels, and the little boy ended up falling in, and the noise got the aliens, and the aliens came, and then the sister, and just, it was just so much. I was so stressed. But the whole point was that we learned that the sound waves in her like little ear thing, every time it got close to her, it would emit like this screeching noise that drove the thing completely psychotic, and it drove her crazy because it was in her ears. But she never actually saw them except for that one time, so she didn't realize that she didn't put two and two together. So ultimately the father finds them, and something happens, and the kids run to the truck, and the alien thing is now on the truck about to attack them. And it was just really sad because he knew what he had to do, and he signed to the daughter that he loved her and that he always loved her. Which, why it take you this point to say that? You should have been saying that the whole entire time. Like, she's no more than like 12. Relax yourself. And then he screams bloody murder, and the alien jumps off. I keep saying the alien, whatever that thing is, jumps off, attacks the father, and the little boy presses go, and that truck takes off, and they go towards the house, and the little girl just sees her father being devoured by this thing. And it was just so sad. So ultimately how the movie ends is that everybody is in the basement. Oh, I forgot to tell you, while, this is very important too, holy moly. So while the mom was in the bunker, I don't know how, but water just started pouring down and it was flooding, and there was one of those aliens up in there, and yo, I was shook because the alien went down underwater. Oh my god, I melted in my seat so hard I couldn't even look. I was like, oh my god, these things can swim too? What is going on? What is going on? You guys, I was stressed. Just doing this review, I'm so freaking stressed. Oh my god. So she goes to get the baby, and like, he comes up out of the water and she's face to face with him. These things are clearly blind. That was in like the little thing or whatever. You guys, I was stressed. I'm so stressed talking about this. Oh my god, like my heart is pounding. I need a break. I'm out of breath. I'm winded. I'm stressed. So she grabs the baby because something made him like go away, or I think the father shot him or something happened. Something. She got away. I don't remember how, but she got away. And now they're all back in that same basement, and the daughter gets to see how hard the father had been working to do the earpiece, and it makes her cry. The aliens are in there, and the mom gives the baby to the brother and tells him to hide. She grabs the gun. The alien pops down in front of them, and all the sound waves, because the dad had been trying to SOS for help in different countries, all the sound waves make the thing spaz out. And like literally the funniest part was he caught a hemorrhage and like spazzed out and just went and fell backwards. Like, girl, boy, I was weak. That was probably the only part of the movie that I actually laughed at, because like I was like, why did he fall like that? Like, okay. But then they realized it was a sound wave, so she took her earpiece off and she put it into the speaker. He spazzed out. The mother shot it. And they realized, okay, so this was their one weakness, because right before she realized that was his weakness, she happened to look over at the board, and the board said, what is its weakness? And somehow she put two and two together. Merp. So, the mom ended it off being like a bad boo day. And she goes, chick, chick, because now they know what their weakness is. And that gunshot from the first one had the other two coming, because there was only 3 of them. And she was like, we got this. And the movie ended. You guys, I was so stressed. But I have to say, this was the best movie I'd ever seen. I'm a horror movie lover. Like, I love horror movies because I think that they're hilarious. Like, there's nothing scary about horror movies unless it's like the demonic ones. Those freak me out because I'm like, yo, you messing with my soul. Don't mess with my soul. I don't want nobody touching my soul. My soul does not belong to anybody but Jesus freaking Christ. So don't be messing with my soul. But like, in general, horror movies are just really funny because it's stupid. Like the first Conjuring, where she was sitting there talking about, who's down there? Whoever you are, I'm locking you down there. Like, why are you narrating what you gonna do? Like, bruh. They be having me weak in horror movies. But this movie had me literally on the edge of my seat. Like, I was crouched down in my seat. I had my hands like this. I was like this, like, oh my gosh, what is happening? What is happening right now? I was so stressed. It was such a good movie. So if you are looking for a movie to see, I highly recommend that you go see A Quiet Place. Even though I just told you the whole concept of the movie, it's okay. That's what we do on this channel. We go over and review and analyze and discuss things. And you guys, it was such a great movie. Like, oh my gosh. Like, I literally, Courtney and I left that movie theater like, bro, I want to see it again. It was such a good movie. I mean, you might need to take a Xanax before you watch that movie. If you have a pacemaker, I would not recommend it. I think what made the movie so good was the fact that there was no talking. So it's like, you know, there really wasn't anything to kind of like let you know what was gonna happen. It just kind of happened. And it was such a, like, you guys, it was such a great movie. Yes, I was stressed. I was stressed to the gods, but it was such a good movie. So I highly recommend you going to go see A Quiet Place. If I had to give it a schmurp or a yerp, it's definitely a yerp. If I had to rate it out of 5 stars, with 5 being the best, I give it a 6. It was a great movie. Like, it had great content. It kept me on my toes. It kept me entertained. I could not keep my eyes away from the screen. It was such a good movie. Definitely go check out A Quiet Place. You will not be disappointed, okay? So that is all I have for you today. As always, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, or if you enjoyed me and you want to see more from me, then you know what to do. You definitely need to be part of the Gigi Meister Merpod and come swimming with us on all of our adventures. How much you do that, you're probably asking? Well, it's simple. All you have to do is rate, comment, subscribe, and share, because sharing is caring, and I'll be seeing you in my next video. Loves and likes ya. Bye!